Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 2. Our title is Palm Oil Biomass in Sabah. For this presentation, first we will present about introduction, then for advantages and disadvantages, next is methodology, applications, and last one is conclusion.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Najolena binti Muhammad Zaki and my matric number is S48507. I will present about introduction. From Wu et al. 2017 say that biomass energy is considered as one of the most promising candidates for renewable energy sources that are environmentally sustainable. Palm oil, on the other hand, is one of the most essential oils that used in fruit, fat, and related products and biodiesel oil in the world. Due to the rapidly growing palm oil industry, a largest amount of biomass waste including empty fruit bunch or we know as EFB, fiber, shell, and palm oil effluent or we know as POME is produced from the palm extraction of oil process. Sabah is being chosen as our main case study from Morel et al. 2011 say that Sabah is the largest planted oil palm state in Malaysia that already cover approximately 17% of the total land area of the state. We use solid biomass waste as the primary source of energy supply for the manufacturing process of palm oil in Malaysia. Malaysia is blessed with many indigenous renewable energy sources. This generation of the electricity can be directly integrated with the rural palm oil mill and if completely finished, the creation of a sustainable source of renewable energy. Biomass is renewable sources of energy that has enormous potential and benefits for people in rural areas.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Atika binti Sopian. My matric number is S48571. So here, I will explain about the advantages and disadvantages of biomass. Firstly, we go to the advantages of biomass. Biomass is one of a renewable energy as it can be reused for many purposes and infinite source of energy. As example, palm oil biomass can be converted into bioproducts, which is more eco-friendly to the environment. Secondly, biomass can reduce the waste. By moving the waste into biomass energy instead of landfills, help to minimize the size of landfills and eliminates the risk, thus increase the areas for humans to live. Furthermore, carbon neutrality. Biomass reduce the climate change as the fuel come from natural part of the carbon cycle and also not produce any new carbon because it already through the natural phase of photosynthesis to ensure that it has already done its job of consuming carbon dioxide. Then, biomass is also source of biofuels where burning of raw biomass, the energy turned in the form of heat will help to reduce depending on fossil fuel which are the main contributors of climate change and other environmental problems. Lastly, source of electricity. Biomass energy greatly potential to provide power and generate electricity such as palm oil biomass. Next, we go to the disadvantages of biomass. First, for the cost. Extracting biomass fuel considered being lower compared to the fossil fuels, but for the biomass project, it considered highly cost for a few factors such as the machinery used for extracting the biomass, transportations, and storage. Second, the space requirement. Biomass energy plant require a large area in order to grow the materials and sometimes to build the plants near to the fuel sources in order to minimize the transportation and other operational costs. Then, biomass not completely clean, even though the biomass come from the natural part of carbon cycle, but is still releasing the carbon dioxide into the air. Lastly, biomass is low efficiency, where the biofuels itself less efficiency compared to the fossil fuels. And also biomass is not suitable to use on a large scale.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Nurul Arisha binti Azmi. My metric number is S48536. In this video, I will cover about methodology. The method that we use to get the data of all palm biomass whereby collected the data through the official publications such as Yearbook of Statistics Sabah and Production in Sabah and the others just like the example that I stated in the slide. For your information, the references data was collected through official documents that available in Japan if the information and data were not available in Sabah. Next information that you need to know is the process of all palm biomass can be divided into two parts, which are solid and liquid biomass. The processing of both solid and liquid biomass is the outcome of the method of extracting oil from palm oil. The oil palm as a rich sources of biomass consisting of the following components such as empty fruit bunches EFB, mesocarp fibers MF, palm frond, tree trunks, palm kernel shells PKS and palm oil meal effluents POM. Okay, first of all, the data for solid biomass samples must be collected using a shovel for EFB, MF by a fork, PS and palm kernel via a scoop. They were collected and stored in original forms in domestic sizes, 15 to 25 kg airtight plastic bags or goonies and transported using a truck to the laboratory. Except for the EFB, the rest of the samples were immediately placed in an oven until it will dry. Before the EFB was dry, it was squeezed to obtain EFB juice. It was then cut into small pieces and air dried in open space at outdoor condition before over dry. Each sample was defined and labeled with an identification name and code, date and time of sampling. Okay, next, the liquid POM was collected from the designated points as specific in the schedule of compliance at the de-oil cooling point. The sample will store and cool to below 4 degrees in a cooler box. Then it will fill with dry ice during sample when it transfer from the mill to the laboratory. Then it will be refrigerated and analyzed within 12 to 24 hours. Furthermore, the palm kernel was transferred to the adjacent kernel crushing plant to process in situ into PKO using mechanical extraction method, leaving behind byproduct PKC. All the samples collected from the fields were over dry. Okay, the last step you need to know is all the dry samples were further chopped and ground using a grinder 400 Hz per minute to find particles smaller than 1.0 millimeter. For the analysis, precaution was made to ensure that there was no contamination during sample preparation or reduction for metal analysis. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Mazalina binti Zakaria with metric number S48501. I will present the application of palm oil biomass in Sabah. There are two applications involved, which are electrical power generation and natural fiber composites production. For the composites, there are two types, which are conventional and polymer composites. The first application is electrical power generation. Palm oil biomass can be used as solid fuel to generate electrical power. The high cellulose and hemicellulose content can be converted into simple sugars and then be processed into biofuels and biochemicals. For the application, biomass such as palm kernel shell and mesocarp fiber have high calorific value and low moisture content, so they are usually used as non-pre-treatment fuel in boilers to generate electricity in the oil palm mix. In addition, oil palm fronds have the highest abundance and energy potential to act as promising source of solid fuel. Next application is natural fiber composites production. The first type is conventional composites. The composites can be tailored into a low or high density. As example, veneer and plywood, fiberboards and particle boards are used in some structural and non-structural product applications, including in the use of furniture and multi-building support structures. Then, polymer composites. Bio-based polymers such as polylactic acid, PLA, thermoset and elastomer biocomposites has altered the plastic and petroleum into biodegradable polymer. In Sabah, the components are used in the manufacture of potong cars.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Adlinda binti Muhammad Dali and I'm going to present about the conclusion. So our country, Malaysia, has set a target about 20% of renewable energy by the end of 2025, and it is one innovation to cut down the cost and to provide a clean energy for the future. So it will reduce and optimize the use of natural resources, hence we minimize the effect of this technology to the environment. So renewable energy can be in many sources, such as biomass. So biomass has been considered as sustainable energy resources. Since our country has a large number of agriculture and good waste resources that are available for any exploitation. Furthermore, biomass is one of the economic resources after oil, coal, natural gas and hydrology to increase the economy and the most potential sources of renewable energy comparing with the other. So the use of biomass can lower the redundancy of fossil fuel, which will reduce the emission of greenhouse gases and carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. So it is proven that biomass of palm oil industry can produce a huge supply of byproducts, which are readily used for energy sources in the future, and it can maintain the sustainability of life in the future. Thank you.
I think that's all from our group. Thank you.